guys, Cal, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my last review for the year of My Hero Academia, Chapter 164. And unlike the One Piece, this one isn't necessarily hype, as it was just intriguing in the way it was handled. I mean, okay, so the chapter starts off already pretty cool with small talk between Todoroki and Inasa, while Bakugou is just hanging back, saying their similarities give them the creeps. And I feel for Bakugou in that situation because it would creep me out too in that to see people who are so similar to each other. But plus the hint of awkwardness, I wouldn't. Plus the hint of awkwardness there, I wouldn't know how to break. Like if I was stuck in the middle of those two, I'd be like, okay, this is getting creepy. How do I break this? But yeah. So also, the big thing we learn is that we learn what Endeavor wants to talk about with All Might, which is that he asks, "What is the symbol of peace?" And I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning of reading this chapter, I got really confused because half the time I was thinking, "Wait, did Horikoshi cut away from the conversation?" And is it going to appear in flashback? But no, it was apparently that they didn't even start the conversation until the end, which is a cruel way to end the chapter Horikoshi, in the chapter for the year Horikoshi. But we do get a lot of development from Endeavor in that one panel, and just the look on his face, and just like the artwork on that panel, and just the look on Endeavor's face in general says everything I think we need to know. Like in that one moment of Endeavor looking at All Might, he basically, in that one moment, Endeavor is content right now. He's ditched all his anger, all his resentment towards All Might, if only for just this one moment, to learn everything that his former arch rival is willing to tell him. And honestly, what I love about this setup is that even I don't know how much or what exactly All Might is going to tell him. I mean, I do imagine Endeavor is still going to learn the secret of One for All, but it will be intriguing to see what All Might has to say beyond that, because this setup just screams the start of a turnover for Endeavor. And I do like how one of the panels did focus on Todoroki, showing that this whole change did start, I guess, with his son. Now, as far as what All Might is going to say, it's weird that right now that last panel opened up so many fucking possibilities as to where the direction of what All Might is going to say could go. Like he could go the broad sense and just give a broad spectrum of what he thinks, or he could, like, I imagine that All Might's answer might be is that he doesn't know the true answer, but he might be able to only tell what his answer would be from his own experiences, I guess. And considering one of those experiences involves his former mentor and the seventh holder of One for All, who is of course Shig, who is of course, as you know, Shigaraki's grandmother, Nana Shimura. I do imagine I do imagine Nana is gonna come into this as well, almost this explanation as well. Like, I imagine how, like, the way I see it is that, like I said, he's going to tell it from his own experiences, but considering his own experiences include Nana, I do get kind of this hint in my brain that he's going to he's going to try and speak from basically what he's observed as as someone who's had to continue this long line of wielders of One for All too. So yeah, it like I said, these are just speculations, but honestly, at the core, it just should be really interesting to see how and where this conversation is going to go. Like, because honestly, again, the setup says it could go either way. Yeah. Also, I didn't mention in the last chapter because I did just barely miss it, and it kind of got overshadowed for me by the Endeavor and All Might confrontation, but I can address it now. Hopefully I'm not too late. But holy shit, how is that Kimi girl fucking alive? Seriously, what happened to her? I'm so curious, because you'd think Toga would have killed her. You'd think Toga would have killed her. Like, okay, we actually do learn what happened to her. She was apparently drugged, which is a smarter thing to do than the police finding a dead body, tracing Toga's location to the league. But that still leaves me with so many other questions. Like, okay, like we definitely learned what happened to her. She was drugged. Okay, how did that whole situation play out? Like, I wanna learn like how the whole confrontation between Toga and Kami went down, because like, okay, we definitely got questions answered as to how as to what happened to her, but there are so many questions as to what happened to her, but there are so many questions that in regard to like the whole build of events and how things happen with her. Like, Horikoshi, please explain. I want to know like just how the whole confrontation between Kimi and Toga went down. Like, yeah, honestly, like I'm just really intrigued by that, and how Toga managed to even get the better of her. Honestly, like for someone who can change forms and whatnot, it just for someone, but yeah, it just really intrigues me, honestly. But yeah, and even more so how, but yeah, and even more so how Kami was able to, or even more so how Toga was even able to use Kami's powers after transforming. I mean, or I forget, can she do that? Yeah, yeah, but yeah, just so many fucking questions, honestly, about this chapter and Kami in general. To be honest with you, that I don't think we have enough time for that. Um, Also, can I just say, can we nominate Gang Orca to be a teacher at UA? Because honestly, he just had Bakugou and Todoroki and just that whole team of dropouts, what should have been obvious from the beginning of the first exam. And it really does make, I guess, and honestly, in a way, it is going to be good to see Bakugou get development from this. It is. But at the same time, it really just baffles me that it took them this long to grasp this whole thing. Like, Bakugo, he really, in a way, he is a lot like Endeavor in the sense where, like the old Endeavor in the sense where the only thing he cares about is fighting villains. He doesn't give a shit about the people he's actually trying to save. It's like, uh, and I think this whole arc is set up to definitely teach him that, yeah, you're not just a hero. Being a hero just doesn't mean fighting villains. It means saving people, and but I do, and it really does, and it is interesting, and it really does make sense, but also interesting to approach this particular test from the perspective of a child. Because if you think about it, the admiration for superheroes begins when you're a child. Like when we're kids, our favorite one of our when as kids, one of our favorite things to do is read comic books. So we look up at the heroes in those stories, and yeah. So it's kind of playing on that, and it is kind of also playing on how Izuku and Bakugo admired All Might since they were kids. So in a way, it's kind of forcing these applicants to almost think from that perspective of a child again, and from there they can learn what is required to rescue people as a hero. Because if you can't, if you don't have the, I think if they look from the end, I think if they can learn to appreciate children, I think they can slowly start to look from the, um, look from the perspective and admiration of the adults who they need to save too. So yeah, it's honestly a pretty basic lesson, but it was presented in a pretty fun way, I think. Although when President Mike said "Let the battle begin," I hope he wasn't. I hope that was just wordplay, because I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be a test of trust, not a battle, unless there are going to be battles here. But like, I wonder. Yeah, like it should be interesting. Also, I gotta say, I really love that kid who's leaning against the wall and calling Bakugo out on his bullshit. Like, honestly, I think out of all these kids, if there's any of those kids who are ever gonna teach him anything, it's gonna be that kid right there. Like, honestly, like I think, like if there's ever a child in that whole group of kids that is actually gonna teach Bakugo something, that is actually gonna be able to teach Bakugo something, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be that kid right there. And yeah, just seeing him calling Bakugo out on his bullshit, saying, "I've seen heroes like you. All you care about is the big flashy entrances and fighting villains. You don't give a shit about but the people you save are those who might get in your way. So yeah, in a way, he's basically calling Bakugou out on his big problem that that he's he's basically calling Bakugou out on his biggest issue, that he's very much basically calling out Bakugou out on his biggest problem, that right, you know, all Bakugou has ever cared about is fighting villains. He's never really once cared about about trying to save people, which again plays into how he failed the first exam. But it, and again with that kid, with that kid, I think he is going to see a little bit of himself almost in that kid. So it's going to be one of the things where he might even take on a little protege. Who knows? Like, actually, it would be kind of fun to see Bakugou actually take on like a sidekick or a protege. So it would be, yeah. I'm intrigued to see. Actually, I'm intrigued to see where that whole little or that particular kid is actually going to take Bakugou in terms of development for sure. And but yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I have for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, or follow me on Twitter and Facebook. And yeah, and this was the last one for the year, guys. But I can't wait to see where things are gonna go from here. Horikoshi, good job, man. But yeah, Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.